Juan Manuel Marquez, Mexican legend, El Dinamita, claps at Canelo yet again and criticizes him for the option of Chavez Jr. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. If you follow me for a while, you know Marquez is one of my favorites in terms of like the technicians and counterpunchers. He's been in the game for a while. I don't know what it is, but he is always going at Canelo Alvarez. Hi, what's barn ready? He's going at Canelo's neck at all times. But anyway, Marquez, he did an interview with ESPN Holpe, and he had some interesting takes on the fight, the proposed fight, potential fight that may be in negotiations, and that's Saul Alvarez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And Marquez says, and I quote, "He's accepting the fight," referring to Chavez Jr., "because it is an interesting fight, a good fight that the fans want to see. But also Canelo refused to fight Gennady Golovkin because he didn't want to fight at 160 pounds. But he'll fight Chavez Jr. at 165? It's so inconsistent to me because Canelo says no to 160 pounds and returns to super welterweight, meaning the Liam Smith WBO fight that took place at 154 instead of Canelo weight of 155. But right now he's going to go up even further in weight to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's a good fight, competitive and interesting fight between two Mexicans, but it leaves a lot to be desired because Golovkin was pushed aside." And the funny thing is, I said the same exact thing. I did a video about Canelo and Chavez Jr. A lot of people asking, so there is an interest in it. A lot of people someone hit me up, a couple of people hit me up in my DMs on Instagram saying, "Oh, what's your thoughts? You think it'll happen? Monday, mail day, etc." I don't know if it'll happen. It might happen because I think Oscar De La Hoya is clearly his cash cow is Canelo still, and I think De La Hoya realizes that's a fight that Canelo could win at 165 especially, so he might risk that. And I told people on Monday mail day, if Golovkin goes in there and does what he's done in the last 23 fights and bombs Danny Jacobs out, like worse than Dimitri Pirog or equivalent, or just has an emphatic win, I really don't see Golden Boy chomping at the bit to make a Canelo Triple G fight like they said they were going to do. Oscar De La Hoya was on First Look on ESPN, and they were drilling him. Max, shout out to Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, they were drilling him like, "Hey, what is it? You're on live TV." And then De La Hoya assured that it will happen, it has to happen, and stuff like that. But it's funny because I say the same thing that Marquez is saying, and they say, "Oh, you hate Canelo, you're racist, you're biased." He's saying the same thing. Now again, I understand that Marquez doesn't really seem to say many favorable things about Canelo, but see, this is where boxing fans get blinded. They look at a fighter that they don't like or someone who has a history, but facts are facts. It doesn't really matter if, like in the past, maybe some of the criticism Marquez had for Canelo was unwarranted. Some people even say he's jealous, but I don't care about that. Prove or disprove what he's saying. You can have, like, you know what I'm saying? People are like, "Oh, I hate Floyd Mayweather, so anything he says, I'm gonna hate it." That doesn't make sense to me. I look at it case-by-case basis. I don't care about Canelo and Marquez beef in the past and what was said. I'm talking about the current. And he makes a strong point, and it's a point that I also made and a lot of boxing fans. It's really not hard to see. Meaning, Canelo's team said, "Oh, we're gonna gradually work our way up and I'll move up. I was born ready. I'll move up when my body feels like it." And they've been teetering in between junior middleweight and middleweight for a while. 154, he fought like 5 or so consecutive fights from Angulo after the Floyd Mayweather loss, all the way to Amir Khan at a 155 catchweight. Then out of nowhere, you fight Liam Smith, who nobody doesn't really know, the world doesn't know, who happens to be a champion through a vacancy and beating a guy who's really not even relevant in the 154-pound division, Thompson. And that's the fight they make. You drop an extra pound for him, but you don't drop an extra pound for Demetrius Bubu Andrade or Jamal Charlo or Edislandi Lara rematch, or even hell, like Avanis Matarosin. So it put a bullseye on Team Canelo's back because it wasn't a good look. On top of that, you vacated your belt instead of fighting your mandatory, your known mandatory. You knew if you beat Miguel Cotto that you would have to fight Golovkin, because that was Cotto's problems when he beat Sergio Martinez, and it was Sergio Martinez's problem before, and it keeps getting, the buck keeps getting passed down and passed down. So again, to kind of bring this back into focus, what Marquez is saying makes sense. Like, you're just all over the place. You fought at Canelo weight, halfway to middleweight, or technically middleweight, you know what I mean, bringing guys up like Amir Khan. I mean, that just, I told people, I made a 7 reasons why Canelo shouldn't fight Amir Khan video when it was first announced. The video's on the channel. I don't delete these things, and I believe that because I already knew the outcome. That wasn't hard for me to register, and Oscar was trying his best to build it up like, hey, why do you think we have a rematch clause? Amir Khan wasn't gonna do anything, because at the end of the day, Khan's a good fighter, but a lot of people question his chin, which is huge against a good boxer puncher with power like Canelo. Good upper body movement, getting stronger, getting better as his career wears on, as he matures and gets older. On top of that, Canelo has had some controversy when it went to the judges. One judge said the Floyd Mayweather fight was a draw. Get the fuck out of here. You see Mayweather's face. He was like, what the fuck? That, I mean, CJ Ross, that's why she got banned or retired from boxing, because she knew there was some dumb shit. It'd be one thing if it was like even Floyd versus Cotto, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think Cotto won, but I'm just saying hypothetically, that would be more just, or Maidana, that'd be more justifiable saying that fight was a draw than Canelo. Canelo was a whitewash, you know what I mean? And then the Lada 117, 111 Levi Martinez fight, you know what I'm saying? That was left a sour taste. So it was always an uphill battle for Amir Khan, because he had to do his best to not get knocked out, which was kind of inevitable based on no rehydration clause, moving up in weight, only had 3 welterweight fights. And then even if he boxed a beautiful fight, were they really going to give it to him? You know what I mean? He's the Heyman fighter going over to a Golden Boy card, a Golden Boy event. Canelo's this big star, you know what I'm saying? Plus Canelo is going to punch with more authority because he's naturally bigger. You know what I mean? Who's Amir Khan knocked out at welterweight? Okay then. So you knew he wasn't going to knock out Canelo at 55, who's been in there with some good names, bigger punchers like James Kirkland and Angulo, and wasn't really rattled, you know what I'm saying? So the Khan fight was stupid. Made no sense. Period. You know what I mean? So Marquez has a point. Like, why you fight at 155 and then go down for Liam Smith? Then you say you have to gradually move up because you're... De La Hoya just said it on the recent First Look within the last 2 weeks promoting the Bernard Hopkins fight. He says Canelo can easily make 154. So if that's the case, okay, fight Demetrius Andrade, fight Jamal Charlo. He's coming off a crazy win versus mandatory Julian J. Rock Williams in a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? Or if you're going to move up, go in there and fight. Like, why? Like, realistically, even like a David Lemieux, like, I told people I don't have a problem with the Chavez Jr. fight because it's Chavez Jr. is big, he has a chin, and I don't mind fights that bring a lot of eyes to the sport of boxing, and the fight would do that. I don't know how meaningful it is, but it would bring a lot of interest, a lot of casuals to it, because you have 2 fighters of Mexican heritage with names, one having a super famous name, Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, that name just rings bells based on his father. So for whatever reason, it would be a colossal fight, right? And it's a long-standing, long-rumored fight. People always scratch their head and what if, who will have the better career and stuff like that. So for that reason, I don't mind it. But I'm not foolish, and I know that if Canelo beat Chavez Jr., I mean, okay, Fonfara already stopped him, made him quit. You know what I mean? Sergio Martinez, Maravilla, one of my favorites, beat him for 11 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be the most meaningful. That doesn't mean he can beat Golovkin. You know what I mean? Obviously, it suits Chavez Jr. if he beats Canelo, because like if he stopped Canelo or something, that would be big for his career. So it's a big fight, big money fight, but it's not the most meaningful. So at the end of the day, my dude Juan Manuel Marquez has a point. Like, it lends credence to, it doesn't sound like your team wanted to fight Golovkin, because you're willing to go beyond 160 to possibly fight this dude, because you know Chavez Jr. ain't coming back down to 160. You know that's not fucking happening, right? He can't make that. Like, you know what I mean? He looked like a goddamn monster truck next to a Tyco car in the Martinez fight. He looked way big, you know what I'm saying? Remember Super Shredder at the end of Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze? Y'all remember when Super Shredder came out and he was just Diesel? That's how Chavez Jr. looked versus Sergio Martinez. Lyrics, fill in the gap, drop that bass, get the ninja rap. Go ninja, go ninja, go, 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 go ninja, go. Y'all don't know about that Ninja Turtles. But anyway, Juan Manuel Marquez has a point. Like, how are you gonna go 5 pounds north of 160, but you were saying like at one point Golovkin had to come down to 155 or catch weight at 157 and your body wasn't ready for 160, but all of a sudden it's ready to warp levels like Mario Brothers when they get that flute. And then he skips all of them levels and you're willing to go to 165. Again, you know Chavez Jr. can't make 160 and it's a big fight. So it sounds like a cash out move. And it sounds like you view, or your team views, GENNADY Golovkin as the bigger threat, because it's just like when Golovkin with Andre Ward. Why you want to fight Andre Ward at a catch weight, but you're willing to fight Chavez Jr. or Carl Froch at the full 168? To me, that shows you show your hand right there. You're saying like, we know Andre Ward's better. That's why we want him at a deficiency. We want him to drop them extra pounds to make weight. We want him to kill himself a little bit to make weight because of his skill set. So that's kind of what it says about Golovkin in the Canelo situation. If you're willing to fight Chavez Jr. 5 pounds heavier, knowing the motherfucker rehydrates to like 190, that's because you're not really impressed with his skill as much as Golovkin, because you don't want to fight a guy who's around your weight at his 30-day weigh-ins in GENNADY Golovkin, but you're willing to fight Chavez Jr., who doesn't have the amateur background, has been stopped, unlike Golovkin, and been knocked down and all that, and is going to rehydrate more than Golovkin. That just goes to show you who you're more worried about. That's just my opinion. I agree with Marquez. I called it before Marquez. Let me know what you guys think. Either way, I'll watch the Canelo Chavez Jr. fight because it's a big exposure fight that will reel in casuals. Let me know what you guys think of these comments. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.